Stat crux dum volvitur orbis. The cross stands while the world goes round. A hymn written in a Carthusian cell. O tree of life, my Saviour's cross, prepare the tree of Eden's loss. Stretch forth thine arms, O all mankind, that wandering Adam shade may find. Victorious tree, triumphant tree, the universe lies under thee. Unmoved thou standest o'er the world, unrocked as this small globe is whirled. Thou art the crux of all that is, the hinge where hangs all that is his, and what is ours in time and space, the universal meeting place. Thou pointest upward to the skies, thou pointest to where Satan lies. Thou reachest out to sea and land, thou holdest thy Creator's hand. O gibbet, thou shalt judge the world, the echo of thy final word shall resound from end to end of space that doth far extend. In the first reading, we have this important passage about the emptying of the Lord, the Kenosis as it's called, something that's kenos is empty. We, if we're honest, are full of ourselves. There are indications that that is the case. It can be detected by the way, for instance, that we interact. A person who is too confident of himself will tend to know a lot, to know the answers to a lot of problems. He will not be slow in giving his opinion. He will also often not be very open to unexpected surprises that might come to him, bits of truth that he was not aware of. He will maintain his opinion. He has the right to be right. To be empty is to be in receptive mode. If one looks at the difference between the way a radio acts and the way a telephone acts, it is indicative of the fundamental difference. The person who is a radio emits himself and receives absolutely nothing. The telephone has two posts, input and output, and the art of using a telephone also is indicative of the fullness or emptiness of the person. It is interesting to observe somebody on the phone. If it it is a profound telephone conversation, we will actually not know what's being said. Why? Because we will be watching the person who is answering rather than giving. And so we won't know what's being said. If the person is conducting a good telephone conversation, that person will be truly interacting and will be saying the right thing, not emitting a lot of himself. And there is a chance at the end of that conversation, the person at the other end that we can't see will generally have been helped. Emptiness. It's actually our own truth. Much of our pain comes from the fact that we own creation, that we have our rights. If we are true, if we are honest, if we know our nothingness, then all is extra. It's a profoundly different attitude, and much pain is caused by its absence. A person who goes through life only receiving is free, and all is an unexpected blessing. A person who goes through the same time on earth, seeing that this bit didn't come when it should have, is condemned to profound frustration and therefore absence of peace and therefore joy. The same life, but all very different because of the fundamental attitude. The one based in truth, the other in illusion. So I leave that with you on this Feast of the Holy Cross, because it is the day when we see God himself choosing emptiness. And by the way, do you know that when eventually, after a period of difficult political tension, they were able to bring back the cross to Jerusalem? I think it was King Khosrow. He was coming in great style on his horse, and by a miracle, by an intervention, he was obliged, because the horse wouldn't go on, to dismount and to come in not as a king, but as the servant of the king. Again, an indication that the Lord is served not by performing, not by in any way using church things to draw attention to ourselves, but of leaving the stage to him. We can be full of ourselves even in the service of the Lord. As we come now to the celebration of these sacred mysteries, we do so with a relic of the Holy Cross before us, which collocates us in precisely Calvary and the moment of our redemption. It's not indifferent, because Calvary is actually present on the altar, and in offering it for your intentions, it is a very powerful moment that we have. We can pull on all the power of Calvary. For the deceased, the living, your own problems, also in thanksgiving for a quarter of a century, happy marriage, which is not given to everyone, and for the grace that you need for the future for all concerned. The 14th of September. Words inspired by the French. Victoire, tu régneras, ô croix, tu nous sauveras. Rayonne sur le monde qui cherche la vérité. On croit, source féconde d'amour et de liberté. Victoire, tu régneras, ô croix, tu nous sauveras.
Hail glory, hail glorious tree, O cross, thou hast set us free. Shine o'er the vast creation, illumine a starless night. Assemble every nation beneath thy radiant light. Hail glory, hail glorious tree, O cross, thou hast set us free. O arms of consolation, reach out across all the years. Mankind's sole consolation, down time's dark chasm of tears. Hail glory, hail glorious tree, O cross, thou hast set us free. O sweet, sweet little acorn, predestined for such a tree, the deathbed of life's firstborn, the seed of eternity. Hail glory, hail glorious tree, O cross, thou hast set us free. Blessed wood thy blessed furrows against my lips let me press. These prince felt my Lord's sorrows, to these was nailed love's caress. Hail glory, hail glorious tree, O cross, thou hast set us free. Stand o'er a constellation, await there on high, and then, sign of salvation, appear in our crumbling sky. Hail glory, hail glorious tree, O cross, thou hast set us free.